We shall now drift towards my favorite segment called Khan's Digital World. Actually, the host himself is one of my favorite hosts on Chitramala. His good name is Dr. Badrul Khan. As learned as he is, Dr. Khan has a wonderful personality. Dr. Khan is an author, a lecturer, a presenter, a keynote speaker all over the world, and a consultant. In the digital world, Dr. Khan's name is always at the very top. This week, Dr. Khan will interview Astin Pronio, and this interview will rotate around Bitcoin history. Interesting. Come close. Let's view this together.
Welcome to another episode of Khan's Digital World. I'm Badrul Khan. As I always say, we are living in a physical world around us. A new world is being created. It's called digital world. All the transactions, education, health issues we talk about. And now, one of the most important things that concern us is that how we do business transactions in the digital world. In the physical world, I use my credit card or give dollar money or currency to buy stuff. But in the digital world, how we do this? So today, we're going to talk about something I'm not very good at, but I'm very fascinated to know about it. It's called Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is basically, we'll have the guest who is Astin Pronio, and he is an expert on Bitcoins. So he's going to talk about what is Bitcoin, how it's been used, how it started, and all this stuff. Like, folks, I'm going to learn from him as you learn from this show. So, Astin, welcome to Khan's Digital World.
Thank you.
So, you have some Bitcoins?
I might not.
Okay, so it looks like very secret thing that people don't want to say it. So tell me, what does Bitcoins mean and how it come to this world? Aren't we inundated with so many different currencies globally, different dollars, pounds, and all this?
Correct.
So tell me about Bitcoins, how it started, and why should I pay attention to?
Sure. So Bitcoin was first created back in 2008. A white paper was created that kind of outlined how Bitcoin would work. The author of that paper is actually anonymous. We still don't know who created Bitcoin. But in 2009, the Bitcoin system was unleashed. The author's name is Satoshi, an anonymous name, an Asian name, and we're still, like I said, are unclear on who actually created Bitcoin. Now, in 2009, Bitcoins were first being distributed, and in 2010, we had our first Bitcoin transaction. Somebody bought 2 pizzas, Papa John's pizzas, for 10,000 Bitcoin. That's worth over $20 million today.
Wow. So looks like a Bitcoin millionaire could be a billionaire.
That's correct. We've seen Bitcoin appreciate in value from less than 1 cent all the way to $2,000. And we've seen Bitcoin's usage grow over this time. For example, over 100,000 merchants now use Bitcoin.
So these Bitcoins, these are encrypted some ways that, how do I know how much I have or how much I pay through Bitcoins? Tell me about this process of Bitcoining or...
Sure. So as a user in Bitcoin, you need to first have a digital wallet. This wallet actually houses your privacy, your codes to access what's called the blockchain. Blockchain is the way to think about blockchain is that it's essentially a system or a ledger where all transactions that use Bitcoin take place. So once you have a digital wallet, you can then go to exchanges online. You can then purchase or sell Bitcoin at that day's value. So 5 years ago, a user like yourself would go online to the exchange and possibly transact your dollars, maybe $800 worth of dollars, for 1 Bitcoin. That Bitcoin is then divisible, so you can send halves of Bitcoins, quarters of Bitcoins, even tenths of Bitcoins.
So suppose I want to buy a goat
Right.
From Africa. Can I use the Bitcoins to buy it?
That could be challenging. Are you going to do it in person or online? Because
online.
Bitcoin is strictly a digital currency. It has no physical value or physical capability. So if you were to use it online, you could send the Bitcoin to the seller of the gold. The way this would work is that the blockchain would actually ensure that you have the Bitcoin, that the Bitcoin is yours, not stolen, and that Bitcoin is then instantaneously transacted and settled to the seller of gold in Africa. One of the big advantages of Bitcoin is that unlike traditional banking, which takes multiple days to settle transactions, involves transaction fees. For example, if I were to buy a property in Brazil right now, I would need to go to a bank, pay a wiring fee, wait half a week for the money to settle and clear. Whereas if I did it in Bitcoin, that money would be in the seller's account in less than 10 minutes.
So what is, this is all looks, sounds very good, but is there any danger in it? How about the security about what I have versus how I'm transacting it? It looks like there are probably something that we don't know how the transaction happens.
Correct. Well, I think from this point, it's very clear to make two distinctions: the difference between anonymity and privacy. As a Bitcoin user, you are completely anonymous. Your ID is essentially a long string of numbers and letters. It's impossible for me to get back and understand that it was you transacting in Bitcoin. That's why there's been times where Bitcoin's been used for illicit activities. It's very hard to track the individual transacting in Bitcoin. However, Bitcoin's actually very public in that the entire blockchain ledger shows all transactions. So there have been times, there's been a couple notable hacks where Bitcoins have been stolen. And when this does happen, you, the user, or you, the former owner of Bitcoin, you really have no recourse. There's really no way for you to get your Bitcoin back.
Oh, that's interesting. So is this Bitcoin thing going to stay or going to go away soon?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. In my belief, Bitcoin actually is here to stay. With Bitcoin, we see between roughly 3 million and 5 million people with active digital wallets today. That's up from just a couple hundred less than a decade ago. So if we think about Bitcoin, it's actually spawned a whole new breadth of asset classes. We have gold, we have dollars, now we have cryptocurrencies. We have offshoots from Bitcoin that are all vying for the same idea of being able to transact online in an anonymous fashion, cross borders with no fees.
So looks like, folks, for the digital world, that kind of transaction, buying, selling, Bitcoins play a big role. And this is such a interesting topic, so I'll have to have him back again for the next month. And I hope, folks, you enjoy this idea of Bitcoins. And I will see you with another episode of Digital World, actually the next one with him on Bitcoins. Thank you for watching.